self-defense, tools that you carry with you wherever you go, and they're not tools that are going to get you in any kind of trouble because they're your natural God-given tools. The first one we're going to talk about is a palm strike. Palm strike is done with this part of the hand. It's the heel of the palm and not the whole palm. You're going to use this hard, bony structure right here to strike forward. Starting in a better position, your hands are up, and you're going to turn your shoulders and hips, extending the arm, turning through the shoulders and hips, and when you take a small step, you're gonna accelerate and hit them a lot faster. I'm gonna show you what it looks like on this striking bag. And if you don't have a striking bag, don't worry about it. You don't need one in order to practice in the air. But this basic move will create distance between you and your threat. You can strike with the front hand, you can strike with your back hand. This general principle is the same. Turn your shoulders and hips, extend the arm, and then when you step, when you do it, you're gonna take your entire body weight and stick it through his face. Now the second tool, a simple tool of self-defense that you carry with you all the time are gonna be your elbows. I'm gonna show you some basic elbows that you can do. Your hands are here between you and the threat in a better position. You can drive the elbow straight up and into the solar plexus, the sternum, the throat, the chin, into the face. You can even drive it up, putting your helmet on, the hands like this, straight into his face. So your hands are up, you're in a better position, one foot's back, your hands are here, and you strike in with the tip of the elbow, either hitting straight into his nose, up into the body. You can even come a little bit lower into his solar plexus. Taking the other elbow and bringing it close to your chest with your palm facing the ground, turn your shoulders and hips, coming in with a horizontal strike. So you can strike up with your elbows and you can strike horizontally with the elbows. Always keep the hands between you and the threat. You want to be in a better position. One foot's behind the other one. The hands are up between you and the threat. Striking forward, striking to the side, to the side. Then you can lift your elbow higher than your chin and bring it down into his chin, into his clavicle, into his throat, into his temple. So you bring it up and straight down, up and down. The first elbow comes straight in. The second elbow comes from the side. The third one pops up and drives down and at an angle. You can also, from this position, if he's grabbed you or he's coming in close, you can shoot your arm straight up in the air and using this part of your elbow, drive it straight down and into his body. You can even jump a little bit, adding a lot of force, the entire weight of your body coming down, smashing through that elbow into the soft tissue of his body, hopefully his face, for self-defense. Maybe you can knock him out and not have to worry about it. So your hands are here. The first elbow comes in here. The second elbow comes across. Hello, D-Mac. The third elbow comes up and down. And then the fourth one straight up and driving here. And there's another elbow, one of my very favorites. And I guarantee you, if you get really good at this, you can knock somebody out for self-defense when you need to. They're behind you, you look over your shoulder, you see them out of the corner of one eye, and you step and drive that elbow higher than your shoulder. If someone has his neck, he has his hands on your neck and he's crunching your throat and he's choking you from behind, your hand coming higher than his hands will peel his hands right off your throat. Your elbow can then strike into the face. If he's too far away, you can extend and smash with that fist, which is the next way I want you to strike. We started with palm strikes, we went into elbows, and now I want you to think of a straight punch. From here to here, that straight punch turns over, your fist becomes tight, your thumb is on the outside over those first two fingers only. Turn your shoulders and your hips, take that small step, and you're gonna knock somebody out for self-defense. Stepping in, striking with this simple tool of self-defense that you take with you wherever you go. Sometimes a punch is appropriate, sometimes a palm is appropriate, sometimes the elbow is most appropriate. The back hand travels farther away from his face. So it's back here, it comes across the body. In boxing, that's called a cross punch. It comes across the body, that has even more power. That's a knockout punch. You can knock somebody out with your jab. People think jab, and they don't understand boxing. They think it means a light punch. It's not. It's a quick, relaxed, fast punch, but it's not light. You step in with it, that's when you can knock them out. Your back foot comes forward as you turn through your shoulders and hips, stomach up and in, drop your chin, breathe through the nose, and strike with that punch. You don't even have to worry about hooking punches, uppercuts. Leave that to the fighters, the professional fighters, the boxers. Just stick with the straight punches. The next tool, simple tool of self-defense that you have that could save your life are your feet. It's your movement, your ability to punch and get out of there. Strike with an elbow and move to the side. Specifically, a lateral move. We're going to talk about lateral first, then we're going to go on a diagonal. With your hands up, practice stepping to one side, practice stepping to the other side. Hands always up. Make good practice. Make it a habit to keep your hands up to protect yourself. Stepping over, stepping over. So now you throw those 2 punches and get to the side. 2 punches, step out of the way, hit them, and then move. That's the most basic way to move. Moving straight back means he's going to come forward with more power and smash you into something. Moving straight in, you're going to walk into his punch. Instead, you're going to hit him and get to the side. Let him come by, and then you've got another way to strike when he's out of you're out of his vision, and he's still, you can see him squarely. He only sees you out of one eye, and you're going to hit them with that fist just like that. So we're going to talk about principles of self-defense. Principles are more important than the techniques. Punching is a technique. Elbows are techniques. Palm strikes, remember, just this part of the hand, the heel, not the whole hand. It's not a palm strike like this. It's a palm strike like this. Those are all techniques. This back fist, I want you to practice turning your whole body and striking. Feel how powerful you are there. And down into the groin. When someone's behind you, you can strike with the elbow, you can strike with those fists. Getting in a better position, your hands are up and open, you step back between you and him. Those are your hands. You're in this, what's called a flinch block. When he throws a punch, you'll naturally guard yourself coming back behind your hands. Your hands are still available to palm, to elbow, to punch, to do whatever they need to keep you safe from injury in this fight, to keep you alive, right? This is self-defense. Now, in this position, the first thing I want you to think about are your hands must be not wide, but in line between you and the threat. Good morning, Garen. It's good to see you. From this position, anything that he's not going to punch your hands, right? He's not going to throw the punch there. Anything that you can strike is going to be a target. You have to take a deep breath and ask yourself, what can you remove or destroy? And I put links below for all these basic ideas. The first link, though, is a secret link, and you'll only know what it is if you click on it. It's my favorite self-defense tool that is not your hands and your elbows and your knees. It's actually based on pepper spray, and it's a pepper ball gun, I'll just tell you. But if you click on that, you will go see what I think is maybe one of the best solutions for somebody who doesn't want to carry an actual gun, right? They want to carry something that's a little less lethal, but can still pack an amazing punch. And I've now seen these in action, and they're very effective. That's the first link below. The other links are if you want to get something to strike for your house, or the most important book that I think you can read on self-defense, which is by a gentleman named Tim Larkin, and he's got a channel here. And on Rumble, I'm over on Rumble. I think he's on Rumble. I'm on Rumble. I'm starting to put more of my content on Rumble just because who knows when I say the wrong thing about self-defense, because I believe you should have every right to defend yourself. I believe the world is scary right now. It's getting scarier in certain cities. I have a lot of opinions that I try to keep them to myself, but when they slip out, I'm afraid the algorithm here is going to kick me off, but you can still find me on Rumble. So if you're on Rumble, go find me on Rumble. We're starting to do some stuff there, and I'll do some unique stuff over there. These bands, there's a link below if you want to see what these bands are. These are ways to increase your striking power. You take a deep breath. The question you ask is, what target can you remove or destroy? I'm just finishing. Call. The idea of being in this better position and being able to strike with force and power is very important, but not as important as asking yourself, what can you remove or destroy? His ability to see you or to breathe temporarily, permanently for self-defense, to be able to breathe and stand upright. You hit somebody in the solar plexus, that diaphragm goes into a spasm, they can't catch their breath, they feel like they're gonna puke, and then you get out of there, you run, right? We always say run, hide, or fight. We're talking about the fight part of self-defense. You wanna strike targets that can end the fight as quickly as possible. You don't want to get in a 12-round boxing match. I'm not a boxer, you're not a boxer. This is not boxing, this is self-defense. So you want to be immediate, direct, explosive. You want to have violence of action. You want to close with and destroy for self-defense. But it all starts with get into a better position. Hands between you and him, make a straight line. The second principle is what targets you have to breathe. That calms everything just enough what can you remove or destroy, and then that tells you what techniques to use, and that's where we practice here. So your hands are here, you've got this band around your back. Just put your hands in the side, and you're gonna practice slowly punching, and then a little bit faster punching. This could also be palm strikes. It's the same exact motion, and then explosive, fast, and the same thing with the backhand, slow, and then faster, and then explosive. You can stand here and start to push, like you're doing a standing push-up. And it's not so that you look pretty on the beach. It's not so you look good in a t-shirt. It's so that you have knockout power. You have explosive self-defense power. I say this all the time. Age is just a number. That means you can get strong at any age. You can generate lots of power, and bands, one of the best ways to help you do that. After you do this, you can come out and in. You can push up and hit the top part of your chest. Think about uppercuts. Think about punching in different ranges of motion. You can push down and do the lower part of your chest. Think about pushing yourself up and out of a chair, or pushing somebody off of you. They try to tackle you and you have to sprawl or push your legs back, get them off. You can do these bands for a lot of things just in this first position. Second position, you grab the ends, you hold it up, and you pull it back. And you activate all the muscles up here that keep your shoulders back and down from all those push-ups and make you more explosive when you fight. You throw it on the ground, put your feet in each side, and you're doing curls. Not so you look good like a high school kid, but so you can do those snapbacks on your punches. You can hit 1,000 times harder when you start to get some bicep power, some muscle power in your upper arm. Bring them up, elbows in, squat and explode, pushing up, training every part of your body, from your legs to the top of your head, which is where all your power comes from. When you strike, all that power comes up and off the floor. So doing these exercises with the bands, there's a link below if you want to see those. But start with the smallest band first. Don't get a big, thick band. Don't look at it and say, oh, I'm stronger than that. Go small, and then invest a little bit more. And they're super inexpensive. So you can see, sometimes you just buy a set and then figure out which is the right one to use. All right, so your foot's forward, your other foot's back. Situational awareness is where it all starts. We say pay attention to what's happening as it's happening, see what's coming, avoid it, run, hide, fight if you can. If not, get in a better position. Second principle of self-defense, your hands are between you and the threat. We'll call this the threat. Number 3, take that deep breath, calm. What can I remove or destroy? His eyesight, his ability to breathe temporarily, permanently. Maybe you box those ears, and then all of a sudden you pop the eardrums. He loses that inner ear. He can't even stand up. He gets nauseous. He's falling on the ground. He can't chase you. He's too dizzy. But your hands are up between you and him. Put them in a straight line. You can still see, but you've interrupted his line of sight. You've interrupted his mental pattern, especially if he's one of these thug punks who go around hurting people who they think are weaker than them. And you put the hands up here and you say, stop, back up, get away from me. You give a verbal command. He comes closer. The first most explosive move is the closest hand, closest point between me and his nose is that palm strike, right? Palm strike, follow it with an elbow, come around with the elbow, bring it down on top, smash him through the middle here, step through and spin back with that back fist, either those knuckles or that fist right there. Either way, that's hard. That one's a little bit harder. When you turn and you step and turn, the whole weight of your body comes in. So those basic principles of self-defense with the tools that you can take anywhere you go, that's how you stay safe in an environment where the world's getting a little bit scarier. No, I hope, I pray you never need it. But if you do, I want you to take the skills of self-defense with you and use what you have naturally. Later, if you need to pick up a physical tool to strike with or to fight with for self-defense, you'll know how to use it because it's all based on the same basic principles, right? Getting a better situation awareness, better position, turn through the shoulders and hips, take a little step, increase that power, and then straight, and then horizontal and angles. That's it. Most important of all these is learn how to move and get out of the way, stepping side to side. If you haven't done that for a while, make that your workout today. Warm up with a step in, step over, step over, step over. And again, I really appreciate you being here. Hey, D. Oh, yeah, D asked for some kicks. Let's talk about kicks because that's another thing that you always have with you, right? And your legs are so powerful. Let me show you on the bag. I dropped it a little bit because I want all your kicks low. Not only am I not going to show you a high kick now because I haven't warmed up and I'll pull something because I'm getting older, But I don't want you to kick high enough you can grab your leg and dump you on the ground and kick your face in. So the first kick that I want you to think about doing is just straight in. And you can think shin, knee, hyperextend that knee, right? Into the thigh, into the private parts, into the stomach, but no higher than that. But the knee comes up and you're kicking with the ball of your foot. You can just practice getting the toes pulled back. Your hands are up and kick. He's up here barking and screaming in your face. You tell him back up. You go for a palm strike and a kick. That first basic kick. Lift the knee, and when you kick, it shouldn't come up. See how that swings? And now I'm like wiping the bottom of my foot. You don't want a swinging kick. You want a pushing kick. Didn't want that to happen. You want to push, but that's what happens. All my weight is going forward into the kick. So make sure when you kick, you're going forward and not just swinging up. The second kick, turning to the side, he grabs your wrist, you lift your knee, and you stomp into his knee. We're gonna go thigh and down. I don't even want you to kick to the waist. Thigh, break that femur, knee, break that knee, into the lower leg, smash the tibia, or go in and smash that ankle. So from here, he grabs that wrist, you turn your hips a little bit, your bum is going this way, and you just push straight back. It's not a hard technical kick. It's not hard to do, but it hits really hard because you're using your glutes. From here, lift your knee a little bit and stomp. If you're wearing shoes, that's so much better. Third one, he's behind you, grabs your wrist, grabs your body. You look over the side of your shoulder, always tuck your chin, protect your chin, lift your knee to the front, and then push straight down and back. Same target area. You're going here and lower, anywhere in there. And it doesn't have to be a high kick, and you do more than one. It's not one and done. You smash, two, until he lets go, turn, and hit him with that back fist, smash him in the groin, drive that elbow up into his chin, into his body. That's the back kick. So now we have three. One to the front, one to the side, one to the back. The next one is an elliptical kick. It comes from the Kung Fu guys, and your knee comes out, and the bottom of the foot comes forward. So your knee is out, and this is surprisingly stable. This is probably the most stable of all kicks I've showed you so far. From here, pushing. Your hands are here, and you're hitting with your heel. Your knee pops out, you kick straight in, it hits really hard. You hit somebody right there in the lower leg, hyperextend their leg, you will put them on the ground. The next one is the Muay Thai kick, the round kick. You bring your shin, and again, all low. Think about knee, thigh, lower leg. You're just, and then you can take a little step, offset it, but that also moves you forward, and you're hitting with your shin. Now that one, you have to train your legs a little bit. That's why having a bag or something to kick is nice. Those guys in the Philippines and Indonesia, Burma, those guys are all kicking bamboo trees and getting stronger and stronger. Yeah, I see you guys are kind of trading tips on the kicks. If you have questions about me on the kicks, put them below in the comment section, and I'll make you a video just on the kicks. But those are basic. So just for review, you've got a straight kick, front kick. You can bring it up, and we call this a teep, where you're kicking his chest, but I don't want you to do that. Again, I don't want him to grab your leg and put you on the ground. I would. If I were defending myself and someone kicked me, I would grab the leg, and we'd be on the ground as fast as possible. But, or he would, I don't necessarily have to go down. From here, straight in. Number two, to the side. Turn your hips away, kind of like pushing, almost like a back kick. Third one is a back kick. Just coming up and under your body. The next one is that elliptical. The knee turns out. And then the last one, that Muay Thai shin kick. Muay Thai guys like to throw that hand back. That's like a natural break. I like to bring my hand over, and it hits a whole bunch harder. Those are just basics on the kicks. Oh, welcome, Draw for Brothers, new quantum virtual student. Welcome to the virtual dojo. Age is just a number. I don't care how old or how young you are. We're all getting better through training, just a little bit at a time. Let me show you how to use the bands and get a better kick. Since we're talking about the band, you anchor your band. You don't have to have a bag to anchor it. And then you step into it. And you make sure it's on your knee. This is also going to make you not swing your leg up, because if you do, it's going to come straight up and it's going to remind you of your folly, of your mistake. Instead, it's all in the hip. Pushing the hip, pushing the hip. The resistance of this band will start to build explosiveness in this kick. We used to call this a quick band. But you bring it forward, bring it forward, bring it forward. It's a great workout too. It's going to lean you out, make you stronger and faster. That's with the resistance band. You can put the heel, hold yourself, and push back, activate the hamstrings and the glutes for those back kicks and the side kicks. That's just an extra way to develop insane, wicked power. You're welcome, D-Mac. Thank you for that question. That was an awesome question. All right, so we went over the basic tools that you carry with you. There's so many more. I mean, we can headbutt, right? As if you're vicious and you have a hard head like me. But there are a lot of things that you have naturally. We didn't even cover all the different ways you can strike with your hands, with your elbows, all the ways. We didn't talk about knees. We know about coming straight in. One thing to remember though, don't use the patella. The patella is the kneecap. It's a thin piece of cartilage, it'll break. Use this big band of muscle that comes above the patella and smash to the side or coming straight in, swinging. You can even bring it up and bring it in to like the ribs. That's a clinch move. Those all work, but you don't have to overthink it. The basic principles. Pay attention to what's happening around you, get into a better position, hands between you and the threat, interrupt their line of sight, interrupt their mental patterns, make them think that they want to throw a punch if they still want to. Hopefully it'll be over. Just say, hey, let me give you a secret tip too. You're in this position, you're trying to talk your way out of it because you don't want to fight. You don't have to, you never want to fight for self-defense. Instead, your hands are up between you and him. Just take a step to the side and change the angle. Something happens in his brain, he's going to have to reconnect with his idea that he wants to hurt you. Just from this position, step over. And then all of a sudden, he's looking at you, he's got to look like this. Everything changes, his pattern is interrupted, he's got to reconnect, and a lot of people won't do that. That'll be the end of it for a lot of them. Police officers are trained, when they get enough training, police officers sometimes get that training. Yeah, get off the center line. So if you're here, you step off the center line, that also puts you in a better position. If you need to defend yourself as he's turning, that's when you would strike. You would strike first if you have to. When you have first mover advantage, when you know there's no other alternative, but you have to physically defend yourself, if you can hit first, you're gonna be a lot more successful. Yeah, one dude says, I need to focus on breathing. Let me give you the secret to breathing. And when I do these, I get all hyper, and so my breathing gets a little rough, but I train myself to breathe under stress. You have to condition your body to breathe as a response to stress. This is the key to everything I do. Hands here. Number 2. I learned this from an old Korean Qigong master. Do that between every round. Notice it immediately resets your breathing between every round. So you want to go fast, slow. And what you're doing is conditioning the body to breathe as a response to stress. Your body does not know the difference between, it's better to punch first. Wise guy asks, is it better to punch first or counter punch? Ding Dongaling the cat, it's his first time. Hello, Steve. Steve's in Seattle. Steve, welcome. It's better to, if all evidence shows first mover in a confrontation, in a battle, in a fight, usually has the advantage. That's not always true, but if you know you have no other choice and you can move first, move first. Don't try to block and punch. Unless you're super experienced. If you're a boxer and you don't have to get hit and you don't really want to hurt somebody, then avoid the fight. A lot of times people throw punches at me over the years or slaps or whatever. I've been able to never been hit by them. And so I can choose whether I engage. But that's not life or death. We're talking life or death. We're talking self-defense. Those are just stupid, petty fights or street fights. All right, so from this position, breathing, you're extending your arms and you're expanding your chest, kind of like a billows. So you're forcing more air in than you can naturally take in just by breathing. So you're breathing in more fully and deeply. The oxygen gets into all the cells of the body, relaxing the muscle, calming the mind. And the third one is just like a big hug. You can pump more in, force it out, and then take a half breath. And I promise you, if you do this between every hard round, you'll hard breathe, and you learn how to condition your body, you will naturally breathe. People have written thousands of books about take 3 breaths to calm down, but no one can do it unless they've been trained. Think of like ultra marathoners, think of mountain climbers. I love climbing mountains. The guys who make it to the top. I'll start with a group of 34 people. Twice, I climbed 2 big mountains. One was 34, one was 43. Only one other person and a guide made it to the top with me on each climb. And it was the person who had learned how to breathe. Now, they don't breathe this way. This is the secret way I'm giving you. But they breathe because in their other sports and in the other parts of their life, they were also mentally very tough. They were able to breathe. As soon as your body gets under that physical stress, the breathing has to naturally kick in. Your body doesn't know the difference between physical stress and emotional stress, or spiritual stress, or intellectual stress. So you're nervous about something, you're afraid of something, you want your breathing to naturally kick in. If you've ever seen stars, you're so mad, or stars, you're so angry, or stars, you're so depressed. That's because your body, your brain is starving oxygen. And you see those white dots everywhere. You need more deep breathing. If you condition your body, when the stress starts to rise, all of your old patterns will break and they'll fall off, and you can create new patterns, new ways to handle stress, new ways to handle confrontation, new ways to talk to your significant other, new ways. That doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. I'm not perfect, but it just means that you'll interrupt old patterns. But it all starts in breathing. Yeah, stay trained for the Palmettos. All right, you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to go run some errands, and we'll be back and do this one a little bit later. Please, if you're on Rumble, go find me on Rumble, because I'm going to start to make more content on Rumble, because it's the only free platform that doesn't censor everything that you say. And I don't want to say too much and get censored now, because that's not my goal. But if you're on Rumble, I'd appreciate you coming over. Or if you haven't looked at it, go take a look at it. And find me over there. One dude, you're welcome. I'll see you.